This one particular young man came to me 2 years ago. As a result of having read my books and articles, he came to understand the theory of high-intensity training. He recognized its validity. He came to me, therefore, wildly enthusiastic, fully expecting to achieve the greatest progress of his life. When he came to me, I put him on a standard training protocol of 7 sets per workout, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. After 3 months, he was making almost no progress. Now remember, he came to me wildly enthusiastic. After 3 months of no progress, he became dispirited, disheartened. He was ready to give up. Now, 2 years ago, I hadn't been training people all that long myself, so this was kind of a new experience. I was a little bit confused, too. I gave it some thought one day and sat him down, and I said, now look, let's not regard this thing merely as a physical adventure, but an intellectual one as well. Let's go to the theory that you and I both recognize as the one and only possible valid theory of productive bodybuilding exercise, the theory of high-intensity training. Let's go to the first principle, the principle of intensity. By the way, if a given bodybuilder's current training program is not yielding him continuous progress, or hasn't been for some time, it's not going to magically start working next week. There's a reason for everything, including lack of progress, and the number of possible explanations is not infinite. He'll find the answer in what I'm about to say. You go to the first principle of the one and only valid theory, the principle of intensity. This young man and I both recognized and agreed that he was not faking the intensity, Bill. He was carrying each set to failure. Therefore, he was doing everything a human being could possibly do to stimulate an increase in strength and size. We were left to conclude that the increase was not being produced. I'm making a distinction here between growth stimulation and growth production. You don't actually grow during the workout. The workout merely serves as a stimulus. It sets the growth process into motion. The body produces the growth during the rest period. It only stands to reason if the rest period is not sufficient. That is, if you're doing any more sets per workout, or any more workouts in a given unit of time than are minimally required to stimulate the optimal increase, to that extent you're overtraining, and to that extent you'll be hampering and possibly be preventing the production of the increase. So that's what we concluded. We concluded that while he was stimulating the increase, his body was not able to produce it because he was overtraining. So to remedy the situation, I cut his workouts back from 7 sets to only 5. And I reduced the frequency from every other day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, to every third day. So now he was training Monday, taking Tuesday and Wednesday off, training Thursday, taking Friday and Saturday off, training Sunday. Then, of course, the next week he would not work out Monday. He would take Monday and Tuesday off, train Wednesday, every 72 hours. What happened? He remained stagnant. He even regressed a little bit. This really surprised me. Up to that time, I had never encountered such a client, one who was unable to make any progress. This is when I started giving some considerable thought to what I knew about genetics, how genetic traits are expressed across a broad continuum. If you've got midgets and giants with regard to height, again, a broad continuum of expression, a very broad continuum. If you've got morons and geniuses in intelligence, Scandinavians and Negroes with regard to exercise tolerance, sunlight tolerance, well, then it only stood to reason that the same thing would apply to individual exercise tolerance. This young man was a midget of recovery ability. So, to further remedy the situation, I cut his workouts back even further in terms of volume, from 5 sets to only 3, and the frequency from every third day to every 5th day, and guess what happened, Bill? He started making progress.
3 sets.
Right.
Is that 3 sets per body part, or 3 sets?
3 sets total for everything.
What would be an example of that, to break it down a little more specifically?
He would do a set of squats for his lower body, a set of pull downs, close grip underhand pull downs for his back and biceps, and a set of heavy incline presses or dips for his chest, shoulders, and triceps.
And that was his workout.
I don't have everybody doing this. There are those individuals, remember, that don't tolerate high-intensity exercise as well as others. In those cases especially, overtraining often results from overlapping. When I see certain individuals not making satisfactory progress on the program I just recommended, I eliminate as much overlap as I can. I'll take the shoulders and arms out of the program entirely, consolidate it into a basic compound exercise routine, focusing on the major muscle groups, the chest and the back, and the legs. The chest work indirectly and even directly stimulates the shoulders and triceps.
Right.
And the back work does the same thing with the biceps. I have had clients that have made better progress with their shoulders and arms after eliminating specific exercises for those areas. Remember, overtraining is often the result of overlapping. When I say it's easy to overtrain, I ain't joking.
Right.
I used to say years ago, Bill, that high-intensity, heavy-duty training was like going out into the intense August sun. You'll get a suntan every time you go out, but even 1 minute more exposure than required or needed. Remember the importance of the concept need. 1 minute more than is needed, you'll get a sunburn. Then I came to understand a few years ago that I was wrong. It's more demanding than high-intensity sunlight in August. It's more like going out into the intense August sun with the sun 5 million miles closer to the Earth.
Right.
Do you see where that would necessitate a reduced volume and frequency of exposure?
Yep.
Now, just recently, I amended it again, and I'm not spreading a thick here to make a point. High-intensity, heavy-duty training. Weight training in general is not like going out into the intense August sun. It's more like jumping into a fire. It'll warm you up, but 1 minute more exposure than required will burn you. You got to be careful with this stuff. Remember, science is an exacting discipline. You wouldn't expect the director to yell down to the end of the control module down there at Nassau to throw a blue switch instead of the red one.
Right.
You wouldn't want your anesthesiologist to give you any more anesthesia than is precisely required. What we're looking for here is the exact, the precise, the specific amount of exercise required. Any more than that is overtraining.